Hey everybody, this is your friendly old chief negotiator, Jess Bashada. We're here to talk about the contract ratification for the 26-27 school year. I should start out by saying that this video should not replace you going out and reading the contract in its entirety. It has been placed at all work sites so that you can go over and review it at your leisure. But hopefully this will give you a good idea what to look out for. So this year we could only open 2 articles, as is per the usual. Every third year we get to do the whole book. We call it whole book, and we're going to do that next year. But this year we could only do 2 articles, and after looking at what everybody wanted us to work on, we chose Article 6, which is professional working conditions, and Article 8, which is transfers and reassignments. We can always look at compensation and insurance. We did that this year. We must also agree to every MOU every year, as they only live for 1 year, and then they have to be re-signed. This year, we negotiated an addition to Article 6. It says, every effort shall be made prior to the first day of school or at the start of each semester for semester-long courses to provide for an equitable distribution of students among teachers teaching common courses. This should help alleviate problems where some classrooms may have an overabundance of students with IEPs, or some classrooms might have way too many students when compared to other classrooms with teachers who are teaching the same course. We negotiated some changes to the transfers and reassignment article. The early transfer window will now be open until June 1st. That's going to give people plenty of time to put in for that early transfer to a different work site. You can now apply for up to 3 different positions in order of preference. If you do not get the transfer you're looking for, if you request it, you shall be notified of the reason why you were not given that transfer. We also moved something from one position in the contract to another, and that is that employees will be given 5 days prior notice to being moved somewhere if they are moved, and you get a day of duty-free planning if you change subject or grade level. Also, you get a day of duty-free planning if you change your classroom or location. That's just stuff that was moved. The district is now offering 7.5 hours, or basically a full day of work paid if you are going to go open a new school. So that was, I think, in an MOU before, but now it's part of the contract language. We also got some language that says every effort shall be made to avoid involuntary transfer for a person who is basically a building representative or a building steward. This is going to offer some protection for people that want to become building representatives, but who are a little afraid of reprisals from their principal. So this should provide protection for those people. A bunch of the MOUs got pushed forward to the next year, maintaining exactly what they were doing. Most of these are all really good things for teachers. We're excited to see that the dual enrollment supplement for FCTC will continue. The new teacher cadre supplement will continue. The PLCP and CET mentor supplement will continue into the next year, as well as a bunch of other things on here that have been working out for the district and for the union. There are some changes to a couple of MOUs. First and foremost, Gaines Alternative and Evelyn Hamblin, they're still getting the same supplement they did last year, but it now includes people who are budgeted to be at that work site. So this is going to cover certain people like some behavior specialists, we believe. There's a few niche jobs out there that will now be covered under that MOU. The paid paternity leave has increased from 5 to 6 days, and boy, that's just Jim dandy. Differentiated pay MOU looks pretty much the same as last year. I highly encourage you to go look at it and read through it. We did make a change, so intensive reading teachers who have improvement in their students going from one level to the next will now qualify for differential pay. That was an improvement over last year. Also, school counselors will receive a supplemented piece of pay from the differentiated pay MOU. I should remind everyone with the diff pay MOU, it is not about how hard you work. I sat on that committee for a year. It is very hard to try to compare how hard someone works with someone else's job. The differential pay MOU is only assigning money to people whose jobs are hard to fill. For example, student counselors are much harder to fill this last year, so we're offering a supplement to them to try and encourage people to come into the job. So if you're not on differentiated pay, it doesn't mean you're not working hard. It just means that they're not trying to fill your position right now. Compensation was a real mess this year because a lot of the money that comes from the state came with a lot of strings attached. But in the end, we were able to figure out a way to make sure that everybody in the 10 plus year category, kind of regardless of whether they had worked the entire time in Florida, was going to get a pretty sizable amount of increase to their pay. We can see here that the veteran teachers are getting a much bigger check than the rookie teachers. In here, you notice that there is an increase in the millage and an increase to the base salary, and those two things combined give you the total on the right-hand side there for what your increase in pay will be for the year. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, which are the changes to the insurance plan. You can see at the top here we have the premiums for Hospital 1 and Hospital 2, both single and family. You'll see the Hospital 2 people are seeing a much bigger increase to their insurance. That's because you're buying into the buy-up plan, and that part is the part that's increasing the most. You can also see that the changes to the plan itself, the deductibles and the copays, they're right there on the screen with them too, and some of those are pretty steep. Now, it should be noted, October's coming around, open enrollment's coming. You should be able to change to a Hospital 1 plan if you're on the Hospital 2 plan and you feel that's something you need to do. I should also note that these changes were brought about by the committee, the insurance committee, which is made up of people from the support union and the teachers union and some folks from the district. And they worked together and have assured me that this is what needs to happen in order for the plan to survive. We really don't want to lose our self-funded plan. We get a pretty good deal in that regard, and we are assured that if we go to a plan for an outside source, it will cost more. So keep that in mind when you're looking this over. If you're interested in being on the insurance committee or any committee, please, as always, reach out to President Kate Dowdy and let her know you'd love to be on a committee to help make some of these decisions. Your voice matters. If you're a union member, always fill out the survey. I appreciate the work you all put in this year. I appreciate you all showing up to bargaining. Thank you all for doing what you do. This pretty much covers everything. Make sure you go to your worksite and you read the changes on the paper. It also helps because you can see the things we fought for that might have been crossed out or back and forth. If you see some stuff in there crossed out and think, man, I wish we'd made those changes, feel free to show up to bargaining. Make your voice heard. Go to a school board meeting. Write somebody. All right? Let me know. This has been Jess Bashada, your chief negotiator, and I'm signing off.